So this is a custom story that I played slash did on AI Dungeon 2, and I thought it would be funny to do like a dramatic reading or narration or whatever of it because, these stories are pretty silly. So this is the starting prompt I typed in, and this is how the rest of the story played out. Okay.
You are Bob, an ordinary man in the city of New York. You are doing boring stuff on a day-to-day basis. One day, something ordinary happens. The next morning, you wake up with a start and see that your hand has been severed at the wrist. The doctors say it is too early to tell what caused this accident, but they believe that it was an electrical short. Bob's mind is still racing about what happened yesterday. He remembers everything clearly, but he cannot make sense out of his situation. His life is now completely different from what it used to be. He feels like he is losing his mind. Bob tries to think of other things, but he can't concentrate very well. It seems like he has lost control over his body. His mind is going crazy and he feels like he's going to die. Bob goes to the doctor who has been treating him since yesterday morning. The doctor tells Bob that he is suffering from a psychological disorder called dissociative identity disorder, or DID. This condition causes a person to experience their own personality in another form. The doctor says that it was indeed a hallucination. Bob has suffered a severe head injury during the accident, which caused him to lose consciousness. When he regained consciousness, he found himself in a strange world where he couldn't remember anything. Bob's newfound ability allows him to take on the role of any other character in the game. He decides to become a pirate and set sail for the Caribbean. He also starts wearing a white sailor suit. Soon, he is sailing around the Caribbean, robbing ships and making money. A few years pass. In the year 1812, a young boy named John Brown sails into Boston Harbor. He steals some of the most valuable documents in the city, including the Declaration of Independence. The British government sends a fleet after him, but they fail to catch him. After several months, the British finally manage to capture Brown. They put him on board HMS Somerset, a ship designed to kill people. But Brown escapes and heads back to Boston. A group of citizens gathers to search for him, but they find nothing amiss. Soon, Brown returns to Boston. There, he meets up with his crew and explains that he has escaped from the prison ship HMS Pandora. He plans to return to England and give a speech about why the American Revolution should continue. Brown decides to go back to America to continue his revolution. In order to do so, he needs more money, so he decides to rob a bank in Philadelphia. He goes to rob the Bank of New York, but he does not succeed. Then he tries to rob the Bank of Northfield, but he fails again. Finally, he decides to rob the Chase National Bank in Baltimore, but he succeeds once again. Finally, he manages to rob the Bank of New York. However, he is caught by the police and sent to jail. Meanwhile, the British Navy captures the HMS Pandora, which is heading towards Boston. The captain of the HMS Pandora orders his men to shoot Bob in the chest. Bob falls unconscious and dies soon afterwards. The captain of the HMS Pandora is hanged for his crimes. Bob wakes up from his coma and finds himself in a strange place. He knows that he's in a hospital room, but he doesn't know how old he is. No one answers, but Bob suddenly realizes that he is in a hospital room. He begins to wonder if he's really alive or not. He starts to look around the room and notices that it looks like a normal hospital room. Bob sees that his left hand is missing. He asks someone in the room if he can see his hands. No one responds, but Bob continues looking around the room. Suddenly, he notices that his right hand is gone too. He screams and runs out of the room. Eventually, Bob gets to a doctor who is examining a patient. The doctor asks Bob if he is okay. Bob replies that he's fine, but the doctor says that he's probably just delirious. He suggests that Bob should get some sleep. The doctor is confused by Bob's outburst. He asks Bob what exactly he wants. Bob says that he's a man without hands. The doctor says that this is impossible because he has seen many people without hands before. The doctor is amazed by Bob's appearance. He tells Bob that he will need to see a surgeon to fix his hands. Bob begs the doctor to let him stay in the hospital until he can afford the surgery. Bob yells at the doctor for taking away his hands and demanding that he must let him stay in the hospital until he can afford the surgery. The doctor is confused by Bob's outburst and says that he will need to see a surgeon to fix his hands. The doctor is surprised by Bob's outburst, causes the crowd to turn against him, causing him to fall down. This causes the doctor to see him to be the doctor, to run. The doctor is stunned. The crowd turns. It. The only way to live forever in a dream world of the sky. The doctors tell you that Bob is dead, and that you are both. The doctors tell you that. The doctors tell you that. When the doctors tell. The doctors tell. What? Hurst. The doctors tell. The doctors tell. The doctors tell. The doctors tell. Parenthesis. The doctors tell. Or tell. Tell. The doctors tell the end. 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 Suddenly, he notices that his random